Welcome back to our journey, our pilgrim journey through the songs of ascents. Today we're going to look at a Psalm 124 that is focused on God being among us and with us and for us during a soul crisis, a shattering event on the journey. It focuses on help. It focuses on God's presence among us. And so as we read that today, I'm going to read it in a little bit different translation. If the Lord had not been with us, let Israel say, if the Lord had not been with us when humanity rose up against us, then they would have swallowed us alive when their anger was kindled against us. The waters would have drowned us. A torrent would have poured over our inmost being. The raging waters would have swept us away. A vivid image of danger and being overwhelmed and out of our depth, or maybe in water so deep that we're not going to survive. And the psalmist is saying it's in those times in which we are able to see and sense and experience the comfort of God in a different way. It's not him telling us, oh, you're bad if God doesn't show up, or I know that you're hurting and you don't feel like God showed up in your life. He's saying what we had to understand is when we experience that rescue from those kind of situations, then we shout it to God. We say thanks. We proclaim it to those around us. This is a witness psalm. It's not a solution psalm, if you will. And so let's look at it, this overwhelming enemy. It all focuses around Genesis 2 language. It says when the people attack, when humanity rises up, or when we're overwhelmed, they will eat us alive, it says. In that passage, he's using the word Adam, humanity, humans. And then later he uses nephesh, soul, the breath of life. We became a living soul, it says in Genesis 2. That's nephesh, a whole person, body, soul, mind, and spirit that is shaped by God for fellowship with him and fellowship with each other. That's what's at stake. That's the danger in this psalm, is that something is happening that will destroy our nephesh, our soul, our grasp and relationship with God. And it comes when humans rise up against us. Powerful psalm. God is on our side. God is among us. If we walk in his way in the sense of our Maker, if we understand that he's given us a life that has a meaning to it and a purpose and an end goal to it, then we can hang on and not be overwhelmed. He uses beautiful metaphors. Some of them focused on water, some focused on being hunted as a bird later on in the passage. Overwhelmed, flooded, drowned. It's something that we have no ability to end. It's something that only God can get us through. And when we come through, we shout to the housetops of his praise. So what's the danger here? He can restore us now and forever, but what the danger is to our soul. It's translated us a couple of times. He doesn't translate it living souls. This translation says our inmost being, and I like that's a pretty good translation. In verse 7, it just is translated as we, nephesh. Our soul is in danger in this passage, which includes our life, our physical life. And so when we escape, in verse 7, like the bird from a snare, a broken snare, we have been caught, but God has released us. When we have that escape, it's a vivid salvation. It reminds me of Paul's wisdom to the Corinthians when he says that we will not be tested beyond what we can bear. Well, it may be that we cannot bear it in this life, but you see, we have a life, we have a nephesh that is going to be in the presence of God forever. And yes, we hurt here. Sometimes we succeed here. Sometimes we have these vivid salvations here. Some people don't experience that. Some people die. It's still to God's glory when they do. And he still uses that to condemn the world and convict the world of how corrupt humanity really is. And so we don't lose our nephesh. We just move closer to God. We move into his presence. We are able to find help with the one who saves us. I love the last word. Well, let me read. Blessed is the Lord who has not let us be torn by their teeth. Not let us be torn by their teeth. Our inmost being has fled to safety, our nephesh, like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare has been broken in pieces, and we have fled to safety. Our help is in the name of the Lord, the maker of heavens and earth. You see, he created us. He knows how to protect us. He knows our life is bigger than the one that we live here in this body that corrodes and decays. He knows how to save us fully back into a life in his presence where he is for us, with us, among us, and he lifts us up to save us.